Hi everybody, and welcome to another edition of First Person on Pressprosmagazine.com, sponsored as always by the Precision Strip Company in Minster, Ohio. A great place to work. They're always looking for good people. They may be looking for you, whether you want to start, change, or finish your career. I would highly recommend that you check them out online or give them a call. Let them know you appreciate the support of what we do here on Pressprosmagazine.com. But anyway, check them out. They're always looking for good people. They may be looking for you. I hope so anyway. Bruce Hooley is our guest tonight on First Person. And Bruce, I wanted to give you this opportunity to come on because so many people have written to me, have stopped me in the frozen food aisle at Kroger's. They text. I had an usher at the arena last night at Schottenstein come up and said, "How's Bruce? How's Bruce? I miss Bruce on Press Pros," and he said, "Please give him my best." I've had people tell me that they're praying for you. Yep. I've had people who say, "I think about him all the time." I've had people who have had cancer. I've had who've had surgery, who are on the same road that you are. Yeah. And they said, "I wonder how he's doing. I think about him all the time." And tonight we want to give Bruce his first person, opportunity to address some of those people and let you know how you are. Thanks for the opportunity.
Well, this is great. I mean, I'm honored to be on, and I really appreciate everybody who's reached out, to me personally through Sonny, through Press Pros, and expressed interest in my condition. And I'm really fine. I just am tired a lot, and that's probably what counts for why. Press Pros, for those of you who don't know, and we're not complaining about it, but it can get pretty late on a Friday night or a Saturday night when we're completing the process of getting the stories and the pictures in front of you guys. So I just don't have the stamina to do that quite yet, but I miss it. I keep up with everything, read the site, listen to our friend Scott Ward on WTGR, listen to the games, watched Marion Local and Coldwater the other night on Spectrum, and I miss it. I miss it a lot. And I hope to get back out there soon, kind of trying to do a little Ohio State wrestling and a little other stuff here soon to kind of test it and see. But I'm 9 months done with chemo, 3 months to go, just got my latest dose in the mail today. So I honestly never think about my health condition, and I'm always kind of surprised when people ask, "How are you doing?" And I'm not trying to be brave or anything. It's just that I'm fine. My MRIs are clear. Everything looks great. It's just that there's a process you go through to get total clearance from the doctors, and I'm, 3/4 of the way through that. So end of January, take my last dose, and then they say about 3 months after that, you'll feel back to your normal self.
Well, I certainly hope so. And so many people, this is so impressive when people say to me, and this is right down your alley because I know how you are internally. People say to me, "How is Bruce's faith?"
Yeah, well, it's solid. It was solid when the day I heard about this. I just told the doctor you can always tell, when a doctor has something to tell you, but he doesn't want to tell you.
Yeah, sure.
And my wife was sitting there with me, and I said, "You don't have to worry about shaking me." I said, "We're good. We know, who orders our days, and I know where I'm eventually going to wind up." And so he told us, and we were like, "Well, that's different." It was my 63rd birthday, so that was a little different too, a little different way to celebrate the birthday. Had surgery, got the nice nasty scar, and my hair grows, but it's just kind of awkward to I don't know. It's just, there's a reason. I just keep shaving my head because it's just easier to go through the whole treatment thing with radiation and clumps of it falling out from time to time. So, but I don't ever really think about how I'm doing because I just figure I'm going to be fine, and if I'm not fine, I'll be fine.
Well, your part looks a little
different
than you used to.
It's a little jagged, yeah.
Oh,
but I'm saving on shampoo, and I'm saving on all kinds of stuff.
When's the last time you bought Prel?
Yeah, I know. My hair gel budget is a lot less than Gavin Newsom's. I know that.
I think about this too. There are people who want to hear what you just said, because there's people out there in that condition who are fighting this disease. They are fighting to have hope. They're fighting to have optimism, to get up, every day and say this is going to be a good day. And I think one of the remarks, you and I have been friends for a long time. Bruce and I have known each other since the mid '80s,
early 1980s. Yeah,
and you've never changed. As far as
I'm not sure that's good.
No, I mean, you and I, the Bruce Hooley that I know is a competitive person. He's a fighter. He's a person of character. He's a person who, this is what I believe and this is where I'm going to stand. And I know there's people out there who would give anything just to have just an ounce of that they could cling to, or they could take it in a pill form, and just to help them through their day.
Well, I'm very grateful, that I was raised in the home that I was. And Sonny, you got a lot of your traits from your father and your mother. I got a lot of my traits from my father and my mother. I was very fortunate to have loving parents, as were you, and that's where everything starts. And I don't want to turn this in a direction that turns people off, but I've had some ups and downs in my life and some experiences that kind of caused me to think pretty deeply about what are we doing here, and what do I have to do to make sure that when I leave this earth, I end up in a good place?
Something better than this.
Yeah, and it's not anything that I do. It's who I put my trust in, who's done something already for me that I couldn't do. And so if anybody wants to reach out to me to find out more about that, they can. I was really, really thrilled the other night. I got a call from a guy here locally in the area where I live whose wife is struggling with just what you talked about, like lack of hope. And she's been diagnosed a couple of times. And I guess what I would say is, apart from the faith element of it, is that, however many days you've been given here, live those days and enjoy those days. Because if you're thinking about the condition that you're in and obsessing over the condition that you're in, you're cheating yourself and you're cheating the people around you. And, I don't know, I might walk up the stairs tonight and collapse, and that might be it. You might have an accident on the way home, and that might be it. None of us know. So enjoy while you're here, and love the people around you, and let the people around you love you back. And that's what I really appreciate about the Press Pros audience, is that there are times in your life where you can't do things yourself as much as you might want to be a self-starter. And if you don't let other people bring you a meal, if you don't let other people, minister to you, you're not proving yourself to be a tough person. You're cheating them out of something that has been put on their heart to do for you, and that's a gift you can give them, accepting their kindness.
What I thought you were about to say is there's so many of our Press Pros readers who genuinely care about each other, genuinely care about other people. They don't know them. A lot of people don't know you. They just know you through your contribution to the website, and they still care about you.
Well,
and so I just think it's remarkable.
I think so much of that, Sonny, is that the original Press Pros audience, now that we've expanded into Central Ohio, it's a little bit different, but I really think it's not all that different, because what we do, what we're really good at doing, we do college sports, obviously Dayton and Ohio State, but I think what we're really good at doing is capturing not just games, but we're capturing a spirit of a community.
Now, the essence of it.
The essence of a community, and I come from a small town, you come from a small town. So many of our Shelby County League, MAC teams, are small town communities where we might have our political differences, we might have our differences in many different areas, but there's just a genuine spirit in those communities that you pull together and you help each other when somebody needs help. And I think that's why I was able to sort of seamlessly fit into the Press Pros roster of lineups and start writing about some of these great communities when their teams would excel, is because that's what I grew up with, and that's what I love, and that's what really adds richness and texture to a person's life. So it doesn't, that's what's common to every community we write about.
And what I recognize, since you have been sick, or since you've had been the ordeal that you've been through, is the number of people who look forward to that, who take some satisfaction, they take some joy and just some relief, from the daily hardships of just being what you have to be. And so I wanted to pass that along to you. I know there's so many people who care and say, hey, please tell Bruce that we're thinking about him. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, and fatigue is really my only symptom, and I count myself fortunate that I'm not experiencing a lot of things that people experience when they go through radiation and chemo. And I credit people praying for me and caring about me for, the things that I've been spared that a lot of other people go through that have what I have.
By the way, we're kind of brutal with each other. We've been
Yeah.
friends a long time. Occasionally, I got a scar just like that on the back of my head from a horseshoe when I was 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
At
At least I was under anesthetic.
it's another story for another day. Hey, let's talk a little bit about sports,
sure.
because I know people are going to want your opinion. We're halfway through the process with the high school football playoffs.
Yeah.
We just finished the volleyball championships, and of course in our area, impressive wins by Coldwater and Fort Laramie. Tell me a little bit about what you, and I know you follow the scores, and the scores have been horrific through the first 2 weeks of 7 divisions of football, and we've had 7 divisions of football now for a decade. But tell us a little bit about what you live right here in the middle of football season. What your perspective is on what you've seen.
Well, I think, we said right away, neither one of us liked the 16-team per region expansion of the playoffs. I don't think either one of us likes the expansion of divisions to 7 in basketball and 5 volleyball and 5 in soccer. I don't know that we have. I understand it. Small D1 schools were outnumbered by big D1 schools, but it's rare we get a St. Mary's over a Tip, and I know Tip and Matt Burbacher, they had a great season there. I think the OHSAA underestimated how non-competitive the games would be, and I understand when fans look at the ticket prices for first and second round games and say, man, I want to go support my community, but I don't want to go watch a running clock game.
I say this a lot, and I get myself in hot water, and I don't care. I'm going to ask you what you think a 16, 17, 18-year-old high school athlete gets out of by being beaten 63-0.
Yeah, I don't know that there's any grander sense of accomplishment in your season if you're a 16 and you have to play a 1, or 15 and play a 2, or 14 and play a 3. I don't know that makes any sense to me, and it's really not fair to the 1, 2, or 3 because you're putting yourself in injury peril in those situations. So I'd rather it would go back to 8. I think if you are 8, you've probably got, at least a puncher's chance against a 1. Not if you're, playing Marion local, of course, but I would rather see 8. What's their rationale for doing it? Obviously,
more opportunity, competitive opportunity in the playoff situation or the process. Just more kids with tournament experience. Now, what I don't know is, will they ever retract this and go back? However, this year I have heard in the stands, on the sidelines, in the parking lots, in the bars, the restaurants, the barber shops, hey, this is not what I remember. This is. I don't know that this is a good thing for kids. I don't know this is good for anybody. 63-0. There's not. What's the benefit? So I wonder if we're not going to come to a point where we said, you can only water it down so much.
I don't know. I hope they're willing to re-examine it. But they just started it, so
nothing's forever.
Hopefully, nothing's forever.
Nothing's forever.
I think 7 divisions in basketball is going to be horrendous. 5 in soccer is bad. I went to 1 playoff game this year in soccer, and it was a state semifinal, and it was not competitive.
Quickly, tell me about the 12-team playoff in the NCAA football. Jack Poland and I had a great conversation last week about people holding their head in their hands over the Buckeyes losing a football game. I think they've come back with a couple of, at least the Penn State game was an impressive exhibition on the road. The way they won that game, and I think probably there's been some soul searching there, just the same as there is in Alabama, Tennessee, Texas, every place else. The only one team that hasn't lost is Oregon. So your thoughts about that?
Well, I didn't like the 12-team playoff. I think that's 4 too many. I think 8 would be fine because, look, I think Georgia's got 2 losses. Yep. Georgia could win the playoff. Alabama's got 2 losses. Alabama could win the playoff. If Ohio State had lost to Penn State, I still think Ohio State is every bit as good as Penn State. I think 8 would have been fine. I think 12's too many. And now you get into a situation where you're going to have a 3-loss team that gets eliminated because it's a 3-loss team, not because it's not one of the top 12. Because you have to give a spot to a, what do they call it? It's basically like the charity spot to the non-Power 5 or whoever. I don't love it, but I love the 4-team playoff. I understand there were years Ohio State left out in 2015 when they were one of the top 4 because they lost at the wrong time to Michigan State. But I think you play the regular season for a reason. And I like the fact that every game mattered. I don't like the fact that, oh, we lost 1, but we're still fine. Oh, we lost 2, but we're probably still fine. Like, I like to reward excellence, and to me, a 12-team playoff doesn't reward excellence.
I know what a fan you are of Indiana University, but
basketball.
But I mean, I think I don't know how good they are. We're going to find out in a couple weeks.
We are.
We're going to finally come here to Columbus to play. But I think that has been my most enlightening story this year, that a new coach comes in there and says we're not going to lose anymore, and he means it.
Yeah, he means it, and he brought a bunch of guys with him from James Madison, and the guy can obviously coach, and he probably coaches angry because he waited a long time to get that kind of a job. I thought it was a dead-end job, but I've watched them. They're good. They're legit. I mean, I don't think Ohio State will walk over them. I think that'll be a very competitive game. Indiana certainly wasn't, they dominated Nebraska, and Ohio State had a hard time with Nebraska. Some of that's attention span maybe, but Indiana's
they were impressive about Michigan against Michigan last week.
Yeah. I think they're legit. Are they one of the top 12 teams in the country? 8 to 12. I could see that, but would it shock me if they took Ohio State into the fourth quarter?
I just always got the impression they were intimidated by good football teams. I don't get that impression anymore.
No, I don't either, and I think that's coaching, that's culture, and we see that throughout, how many excellent coaches do we have and how many different sports that we've covered over the years and written about many times.
Bruce, 12 excellent minutes with you, and I know a lot of people out there appreciate it, get to see you, get to hear you, and I appreciate you sharing your story. I just appreciate, hopefully here soon, getting you back in the stirrup with us and what we do at Press Pros, and so you're a regular contributor again, and have a few laughs instead of the calls where he's saying, "Oh my God, should I call? Can I call? Yeah. What's it going to be like when I call?"
Yeah, I mean, I look, I'm very positive and upbeat about my future. Nobody's ever told me that this is going to shorten my life in any appreciable way. As far as my return to Press Pros, I'd love to get back in it and write the state football, but we've got so many guys on our staff. Jeff Gilbert, Steve Blackledge, Jared Ulrey, Alan Brads, Sonny, on and on. Gibby, I said Jeff Gilbert. I don't want to parachute in and take something from somebody who's earned it by being out there the last 2 years.
You never impressed me as the guy that would jump out of an airplane anyway.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I want to do what I advocate for in the playoff. I want to earn my spot. So everybody's been doing a great job, and the site is better than it's ever been. It's gotten consistently better since I joined it. I'm just amazed at what you've been able to do growing it over the years, and we can't do it without the great sponsors that we have here, like Precision Strip for this particular segment and others, and we obviously can't do it without the readers, and we appreciate you guys very much. And I just personally want to thank everybody out there, and the texts I've got from coaches checking on me and things like that. Really, really nice, and deeply appreciated from the bottom of my heart.
Good stuff, and that wraps up this edition of First Person with Bruce Hooley. Again, sponsored by the Precision Strip Company in Minster, Ohio. Once again, let me say, a great place to either start, change, or finish your career. They're always looking for good people. Hopefully, they might find you. As I always conclude and say this, we appreciate all the kind comments that we got over the weekend about our coverage of the volleyball state tournament at the Nutter Center. What we do every day, every week, every month. So many of you are kind to say, hey, we really like what you do at Press Pros and what it means to us and what it means to kids and schools and communities, and we do it for you and have a little fun along the way doing it. So until the next time, thanks to Precision Strip, thanks to Bruce Hooley, thanks to all the people out there. Holiday season's coming up. Basketball season's coming up. Enjoy it all, because tomorrow's promised to nobody. Right. We'll see you next time on another edition of First Person.